Next slide. Then set up or donate to charity. That's the first match. For the second match, we have New Generation Black Panthers against God Time Now. And the twins. The topic is this house will chase international NGOs in Togo. This house will chase international NGOs in Togo. This house will chase international NGOs in Togo. Good. Third match. So in the third match we have, can we have the house please? Yeah. In the third match we have Ezik 2 against Ezik 2 and Jefferson against We Are The World and Saga. Right? Good. And we have Imhotep and Zion team against Ezik 1 and We Are Everywhere. Is that good? Yes. The motions are, this house will not allow perpetrators of crime against humanity to face the music. Ezik 2, Jefferson, We Are The World Saga. This house will not allow perpetrators of crimes against humanity to face the music. The topic of the second match is this house rejects exclusively the privatization system in Togo. This house rejects exclusively the privatization system in Togo. Thank you so much. At least can you clap? Can you clap? Okay, good. Now, the first two matches, Enlightened People against the Shining Stars and the Black Lips, New Generation, Black Panthers against God Time, and the twins, you go to Unité de Gestion. Ezik 2 and Jefferson against We Are The World and Saga, Imhotep Zion team against Ezik 1 and We Are Everywhere. You stay here at American Corner. Good. Thank you so much. And you can move to your various venues. Thanks. Good. Sorry. Can I, before you leave, please. Wait. Yeah. Good. Please.
Calm down.
You know, at this level, there is no joke. You have to put this difference between public speaking and debating. In debating, we talk of argument. We don't talk of opinions. We don't talk of point of views. We talk of arguments. In arguments, we talk of proofs, facts, statistics. You can go to your various news. Thank you.
Okay, I think this is the quarterfinal, and two teams have to qualify, have to drop out, have to qualify, and two teams to be disqualified. So it all depends on you, how fluent you are, how convincing you are, how logical you are, and your arguments. So let the winner win. This house will not allow perpetrators of crime against humanity to face the music. This house will not allow perpetrators of crime against humanity to face the music. So let's call upon the first speaker. That is the row 1 from Ezik 2. If you're ready, then the time starts.
Ladies and gentlemen, co-debaters, our supporters, I greet you all. Today I'm here to debate on the motion. Today I'm here to debate on the motion that we will not allow perpetrators of crimes against humanity in Africa to face the music. First of all,
Please wait as you finish. You start over, please.
First of all, we talk about the ICC, International Criminal Court. This court was established to judge war crimes, crimes against humanity, genocide, and the whole world. Especially when a justice, like national justice, is not able to investigate and punish those who committed this kind of crimes. And since that criminal court was established, we can realize that the investigation, most of them, focus on Africa. For example, we can cite Democratic Republic of Congo, where Thomas Lubanga, Jammeh Katanga, like rebels, they have been arrested and condemned by this court. We can even mention the case of Jean-Pierre Bemba, the former vice president of Congo-Kinshasa. We can mention Dominique Ogwen, the deputy leader of the group rebel called NRA, National Resistance Army. We can mention the case of Laurent Gbagbo in Côte d'Ivoire. But what we could say about these things is that we realize that Western world, for example, US, UK, France, and other stuff, they are not part, they don't recognize the power of that ICC court, but they accept to finance it. And whatever that court is doing, when they realize that that action is good for their interest, they are okay with that. But at the same time, there are many wars, like between Israel and Palestine, war in Afghanistan, war in Iraq, as well like in Chechnya, some part of the Russia. ICC is not able to investigate, arrest those who have committed war crimes, international crime, genocide, to punish them. So we can see that that International Criminal Court became a perfect for Western world to impose their decision, especially to Africa. Like most of you know that in Africa, none of state is strongly politically or military or economically to challenge the Western world. For example, the Western world has supported for many years Charles Taylor. First of all, when he started as a leader of group rebel in Liberia, they have not said anything. They always protected him. When one day they just woke up and realized that no, this guy is not doing a good job again for us. He can't protect our interests anymore. We don't need anymore, and they let the international court to judge him. The same thing happens with the other group, rebel groups leaders like Thomas Lubanga and other stuff. They were supported first, but then later, Western world people led the international court to judge them. In Afghanistan, in Iraq, there were many atrocities was committed by, for example, American soldiers. And when the ICC court tried to investigate, the president at that time, Bush, said that he will never allow that ICC court to be involved in Afghanistan or Iraq matter, because he was saying that in America, the national justice is able to do that, and there is no need. Even recently, when the President Trump, when he came on power, he even threatened the international court that they will never allow him to do anything about what happened in Iraq, Afghanistan, even between Israel and Palestine. They will never allow ICC to do anything. They even said that they will not grant visa. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. This is the first speaker of the Pro 1. This is the first speaker of the Pro 1. Is it 2? Okay, let's call upon the next speaker from the opposing side, which is we are the world Pro 1. And if the speaker is ready, and if the members of the jury are ready, then let's start the debate.
Dear members of the jury, ladies and gentlemen, I greet you all. We will not allow the perpetrators of crimes against humanity in Africa to face the music. Allow me to smile before continuing. Allow me to smile because we are not living in a jungle where animals can kill each other or where animals can eat one another. We are human beings. We have our dignity. We are not animals whereby a big fish can eat a small one. A lion can eat a monkey. No. We are human beings and we have what we call sense. We have to think before doing anything. So, do you think criminals should not face the music? Do you think they should not be punished because of what they did? So you think just because the ICC is not counted or they are not doing well their job, that they should allow them to do all what they need? No. Our constitution is sacred, and it is said that no one should not ignore the law. No one should not ignore law. That means what? It means if you do something wrong, if you do something bad, you should be punished and jailed. You should face the music. It's not good to let them, let's say, to allow them doing all what they need just because they have the reason. No. You people here, tell me, if one day a person enter your house with a gun and shouting on you, your mother, your sister, your father, would you stay there and say that the guy is not going to face the music? Tell me, what kind of society do we need? Do we need a society full of criminals? Or do we need a society in which people are capable, people have their dignity, people respect one another? Let's take the example of Libya, where Gaddafi was unjustly arrested because of some criminals of his own country. Those criminals they didn't face the music. And look at what Libya is facing today. Always, we have criminals always there. Because they think they shouldn't allow them to face the music. So, if we need to have a good society, if we need to have a society with sense, we must jail them. We must allow them to face the music to make order in our society. Law is for us, it's not for animals. We are the one who is for law. So, we must respect it because we are human beings. Let's take the example of, let's say, Kabinda in 2010, when our football player went there to play a football match, and they were, let's say, there were some criminals who comes and maybe, let's say, who comes and try to kill them. Now we lost some football players. Even our goalkeeper, Obilale, he can't play football anymore. He can't kick ball anymore just because of that crime. And do you think those people should not face the music? Do you think what they did is good? Do you think they should allow them to continue their crimes? It's not good. It's not good. And I still think that it's not good. So we should allow them to face the music in order to correct, to stop doing what they are still doing. Because what they do, they think it is a good thing. Will you stay there and look at the people who come here and still kill our children, maybe to make money? Would you allow them to not face the music? No. Look at me as a future leader of this country. Someone come and rape me. Will you say the person is not going to face the music? Will you think what he did is good? No. Let him be punished and jailed to correct their mistakes or what they did wrong. So I still strongly say that we must allow criminals to face the music because it is a bad thing. Thank you.
Thank you very much. For the first speaker of the Comes One, that is from We Are the World. Let's quickly call upon the second speaker from Pro One, that is Ezekiel 2 for their debate. If you're ready, then your time starts now.
Good morning, everybody. I'm standing for the topic we should not allow the perpetrators of crime against humanity to face the music. Like my co-debater just said, the music is ICC, the International Criminal Court. The word discrimination is still here. The word discrimination will still be in the brain of everybody, the brain of white people. The word of discrimination is still here. We are like, it seems like we are slaves, but now without chain and name on our body. Because those first of all, those white people, they control our life. They control anything. So why should we let them control our perpetrators or judge our perpetrators? That is not correct. They control everything. We should ourselves judge our perpetrators. We do not say that they did something good. We say that they should not be judged by ICC. Did you ever see a white man go to ICC? No, they do crime against humanity, but they do not face ICC. I give you the example of George Bush, the former president of USA. They were involved in the war of Afghanistan, and Tony Blair, the former prime minister of England, he was too involved in that war. But did you ever see him face ICC? No. I will tell you, ICC is corruption. ICC, I will repeat it again, ICC is a way to corruption. Let me give you the example of Jean-Pierre Bemba. Those who say that he do something bad, they were the same person who said that he should be released. And Laurent Gbagbo, the president of Ivory Coast, they said that he did something bad, that he should go to ICC. When he got there, they were the same who tell him to be released. Why? That proved that ICC is corruption. That proved that ICC is not correct. That seems that ICC is not a court that we should send our own African perpetrators to them. I propose, instead of sending them to ICC, we should create our own ICC in Africa. We should judge them in Africa with our own judges, with African judges, like in Senegal. Like for the former president of Chad, who has been condemned by Africa's Special Court in Senegal. Let's take that example. We should stop sending our own perpetrators to those white people. So please listen, and I think that that's the only solution that we have to do. Thank you.
Thank you very much. These are the words of the second speaker of W1, Day3. Please give us some seconds. Okay, let's call upon the second speaker as the last speaker of the first part. So if they are ready, and if
distinguished members of the jury, dear co-debaters, teammates, ladies and gentlemen, I greet you all. My friends are talking about the ICC. The ICC, as they said, is an international institution to judge criminals. And it's true. You're talking about the white president or the big countries not sending their president or the criminals to that court. Let me tell you something. The former president of France, François Hollande, is still kept in custody because by the time he was ruling his country, he did some wrongs. He's still in custody. I say he is still in custody by the military of the world to be sentenced, to be judged. Talking about Laurent Gbagbo, you cannot mention the president of Cote d'Ivoire as being a criminal. The man did not commit any crime which is like sending him to the ICC. So leave Mr. Gbagbo where he is because he's not a criminal. You cannot mention one crime that he did. I really like the introductory words of the Constitution of the United States, which says, "We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by the Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness." Dear friends, so you want to tell me that we shouldn't allow criminals to face the music? Because of what? If we really want to enjoy life, if you want to live in a world whereby we should all enjoy life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, why not sentence these criminals? Why not judge them? Why not let them face the music for them to correct the wrongs they've done? Let me talk first about the Mali, the Sudan, and the South Africa story. You all know about this, whereby women and children are being killed every day till now because our soldiers here have been sent over there for those things. That means what? Criminals are still keeping on. They are still killing people. Why? Because they are not sentenced. They don't have any penalty, which is what? Which is very bad. So if you don't let them face the music, everybody will die. And suppose that we have our relatives over there. It's not suppose we have our relatives over there. One morning you wake up, they tell you that a close relative of yours is dead in Mali or in Sudan. What will you say? Let's talk about rape next. A charming lady like you, somebody rapes you. This is a crime against humanity. The person has taken out what? Your dignity. The person has taken what? All that makes you human. And you say this person shouldn't be sentenced. This person should not face the music. Why? Let's talk about the recent events in Netherlands, whereby somebody gave himself the pleasure to enter a mosque and then shoot on people that were praying. Some people that gathered in the house of God to worship, the person enters and then gave himself the pleasure to shoot all of them, and all of them died. And it was 49 people were dead. 49 people died. 15th March 2019, a recent event. When we take the case of Rwanda, whereby we have what we call genocide.
which lasted 20 years. So, if the genocide lasted 20 years, it means what? Criminals were not sentenced. They were encouraged to keep on killing people. That's why it lasted so. So by the time they woke up to solve the problem, didn't you see? So it means letting the criminal face the music is something very great. And we really encourage that. When we talk about Osama bin Laden, for instance, every 11 September, we remember the dates he was killed. To say what? To say is like we have reduced one criminal. It means we have taken from the world one of the troublemakers. To say it has saved the world in a part. My dear friends, to round off, let us think about something. Do we participate into the world whereby everybody are placed to kill people as they want?
Thank you very much once again. We've come to the first part of the first match. So we will go to the second part. Please give us some seconds. We'll come out with
in here for the fact that we should not promote or we should not allow perpetrators of crimes against humanity to face the music. And I would like to remember you something. To remind you something is within. The contest is in Africa. All of us know well what Africa is in front of all people. How the Western nations and Africa are working. How much the Western nations are getting interfered into African nations. And therefore, my first argument is that there is a lack of the identification of the real culprits. The guy who is, the party that is really guilty is not clearly identified because of what? Because of the interference, the tremendous interference of Western people in Africa. As a matter of fact, we usually say we have to solve the problem from the roots. Now, Western people are the roots, and now we're like the branch because they manipulate people desperate to commit such crimes. Then, punishing them means what? You've done nothing. See, because the real problem is there. The real author is there. As a matter of fact, we all know here the genocide of Rwanda. But let me tell you something. Robert Duterte, article written in 2014 that is entitled Les racines étrangères du génocide du Rwanda. This means what? He says what happened that day, I quote, abandonment of Rwanda by international community was a proof of its green light to perpetrators to kill people in a large scale. He also showed that green nations only manipulate, only to save the interests of their own nations, regardless to what we could feel. So, if we are not able to identify the real culprits, I think it is no use because you will be killing them, or you will be punishing them, but the real author is there. Second point, the unfairness. We all are here in Africa because the contest is in Africa, and we all here are in Africa, and we know how our system, our governmental system are corrupted, our judicial systems are corrupted. Now, how can we simply trust such a judiciary court that is completely corrupted? As a matter of fact, we have the conflict of Ivory Coast, and people said already. You have the case of Thomas Sankara. Even the death of Norbert Zongo, we all know it here. That is simply kept silent because simply they know what is happening actually. And in a broadcast on France 24, they say simply that African country were simply influenced by Western interventions. And also, they reported that guns involved in such crimes, in every crime against humanity committed, all guns were simply provided by China, by United States, and by all those Western people. So now, how can you simply condemn innocence that was simply used like pawns just in a game? How? They are not truthful. They are completely truthful. We cannot trust them. As a matter of fact, the former Prime Minister of Central Africa, who is also a barrister specialized in judiciary system, he said this. And these things were reported. It was reported on RFI on 17th July 2018. He said, 20 years have gone already. 20 years have gone. But what the presumed International Criminal Court has done? Because it's what they do, simply to lure us. Just simply, it's like something fallacious. Not really. And just simply not this one. Criminal Court simply. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That is the first speaker from the Pro 2. Okay, let's quickly welcome the first speaker from the Coms 2 for his debate, and let the debate start now if they are ready.
Good morning. Public, presence of the members of jury, are you hearing what they are saying? To allow people to do what they want. To allow people to shoot others. To allow people to take guns and enter where they want to shoot people. It's an idea to defend. Is it an idea to defend? I'm not sure. People want we to allow people. For example, where we are, someone take his gun at home, enter here, begin shooting people. All of them he will shoot and go. No punishment. Talking of this motion in Africa, African researchers at Human Rights Watch, the lack of justice for these crimes has left fighters free to terrorize civilians at will and fuel ongoing revenge attacks. In Central Africa countrywide, Ango have fought tens and thousands of people from their homes into the bush, where and they died of exposure, diseases, and hunger. People with disabilities were especially at risk because they couldn't flee quickly and face barriers to access sanitation, food, and medical care. And that's not good. If you are to allow people shoot others, it can't be good. According to some reports, violence has increased in recent months in the Togo and Waka province as faction of Seleka and anti-Balaka groups fight for control of territory and rich natural resources. Persons and this world, it's not they who create them, but the ones to control territories. Avoiding that, one day they will die. All this because there are no punishments. More than 800 million persons died after the genocide of Rwanda After, another example is in the waning years at 20th century, 10 million people were murdered in various remote parts of Central Africa. These criminals are not punished. We have to let them face the music. Or else, how should us let all this genocide finish? We have to punish all people who want to create instability in Africa for their own reasons. Gangsters and armed robbers are killing people fresh in South African countries. These are free in this world. But if the governments take their responsibility and begin to punish them, you know that all this will finish. According to France International Radio, attacks are ending in these countries. Okay, I'm talking for West African countries, just because United Nations Organization, in collaboration with some presidents, West African presidents, decide to let perpetrators of crimes in these countries face the music. Without them face the music, I don't think these things will finish. If you know that if I kill this person, someone will kill me, I think all this will finish. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That is the first speaker of the quiz 2. We have the next speaker from the Pro 2. And if the members of the jury are ready and if the debater is ready, let's start the debate.
Dear members of the jury, dear members of the audience, good morning. We talk about justice here. We made justice many years ago, and what is the result? Making perpetrators of crimes against humanity in Africa does not prevent other crimes from being perpetrated. The trial process are long, costly, and demands money and investigation. It will be better to invest for more education and fair and equal opportunities for everyone all over the world in order to prevent or anticipate crimes against humanity. As a solution, we propose reform justice. Reformative justice. What is reformative justice, please? Reformative justice is an approach to justice in which the response to a crime is to organize a meeting between the victim and the offender. As a result, we have in Togo, Savage Year. We have also in South Africa Truth and Reconciliation Commission. All these are just used to address system-wide offenses that affect blood and conflict. So we have to search the solution, not to make justice also. So we have also to think about the process, which are long and costly and demand money and investigation. Also, when we see the process and the results, it is not motivate people. And to finish, we will talk about that making perpetrator of crimes against humanity in Africa does not prevent other crimes from being perpetrated. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for the second speaker of the Pro 2. Now without wasting time, we'll call on the last but not the least speaker from the opposing side for their debate. If they are ready. If they are ready, and if the members of the jury are ready, then the time starts now.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury, dear teammates, co-debaters. I am really disappointed that people are saying I should allow criminals in our country. If I know that when I'm going out, I am not sure that I'll come back safe. Imagine, recently, a Spanish priest came for a mission in Togo. He was killed. That's like a goat between Togo and Burkina Faso. And you want that person that did this not to be punished. In 2016, listen, the Minister of Security of Togo registered 82 robbery, 32 armed robbery, and 829 burglary in this country. And because it is continuing, people are not being punished, they still continue. Listen very carefully. In 2018, we had 24 robbery, 74 cases of armed robbery, and 145 burglary in this country. And you are happy that you shouldn't punish these people. Imagine a man of Boko Haram being a father of a child in our midst. You yourself, you know that you are exposed to many dangers. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights said we are all born equal and we should be equally treated before the law. If the law says that if someone commits crime should be punished, it should be done accordingly. We have the responsibility to punish those who deserve punishment and to the degree of the punishment. On 6th March 2019, 2 people have driven away 122,868,175 francs just at Amuchebe there before the traffic light. They have driven it away. People have done it, they were not punished, so they still continue. Let me tell you something. Since 2009, when Bacha was sent to prison because he planned coup d'etat, nobody have ever thought of coup d'etat in our country. And you think if you don't do that, people will not stop? No, I don't think. We agree. We should create our own courts. In fact, we have them already. And the people should be killed. People should be punished according to their crimes. If someone rapes a girl of 16 who is still a student, she's raped, and you think this one who raped her should not be punished? No, I don't think so. Indeed, recent investigation using a variety of samples and statistical methods consistently demonstrates that a strong link exists between executions and reduction of murder rates. So when somebody commits a crime, the person needs to be punished. Imagine you are on the road and there is the red light and you don't stop and you knock somebody on your front and you think the police will not punish you, and if they arrest you, you will be complaining of being unjustly arrested. No. you should be punished because it is against the law. We are born equal before the law, and we should be treated equal, and no one should be above and no one should be under the law. In short, criminal punishment indeed save lives. If I know that somebody has done something wrong and the person is punished, I will not do it again. And if you are punishing people, you are punishing criminals, it gives the confidence to the population that they are being protected. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The third team, we have Falcon. The second team we are the one, and the first team we have Ezekiel. Please. So Ezekiel and we are the one are qualified, and Gil Falcon and Saga are disqualified. Thank you very much. So without wasting time, please. Let's have a house. Please. Your time starts now.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, members of jury, I greet you. I'm here to stand for the motion. This House rejects exclusively the privatization system in Togo. The privatization involves selling state-owned assets to the private sector. And I know that my fellow opponent will come here and say by accepting the privatization system, it improves efficiency. And I know that she will also come here and say it increased competition. Yes, I know. It's very good. Competition is very good. But if we are competing in something, and this thing is not good, the product that we are giving to our society is bad, why do we have to compete about it? Now I'll move on to the inconvenience, the disadvantages of privatization in Togo. The reason why we said we reject exclusively the privatization in Togo is that the privatization, many companies are just working because of their own interest. When we take the example of the healthcare domain, in the domain of education, healthcare, and public transport, these companies shouldn't work because of profits. They shouldn't take into account the primary profit motive as the profit motive, but they should work according to what is have to be. And if we have to privatize those companies, especially the healthcare, it's like we are giving a great priority to a profit than to a person care. Because today in our hospitals, we realize that when a patient comes and the patient is suffering, the doctor will ask a money to the family of this patient, and they have to pay a kind of amount before caring this person. And if we have existed, and if we have to again accept the privatization system, my ladies and gentlemen, can't you see that it will be a very dangerous thing? maybe you want our country to be in the members of those countries that we have the rates of death every year. We have to stop this. Also, we have the problem of regulating private monopolies. Privatization creates private monopolies such as water companies and rail companies, which lead to abuse of monopolies. They just work according to their own profit. They don't mind if something, they don't mind about what they are giving to the society, what the society will gain. They are just only working for their own gain. Also, we have the fragmentation of industries. The privatization of rail in Togo led to breaking up rail network into infrastructure and trade operating companies. This led to areas where it was unclear who had responsibility. Also, we have the short-term terms of companies. Those companies, private companies, to add their benefit, to have more benefit, they will choose to work in a very short-term project.
Thank you very much. The time stops now. That is the first speaker of the Pro 1. Let's call upon the first speaker of the Cons 1. That is Ezekiel, for their debate. If they are ready, then the time starts now.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, co-debaters. I am here to stand against the motion that says this House will reject exclusively the privatization system in Togo. So before talking about rejecting the privatization system in Togo, let's look at the type of economy we have in Togo. Is it a beneficiary economy? And talking about our development in Togo, is it really helping us? I don't think so. So why are you even saying that we are rejecting the privatization system, which by is helping us develop our country? And when we talk about privatization system, we see that it helps a lot in the country. For example, it helps improve efficiency, such as when you work for the government, we know that some managers do not pay, and at the end, some people have manifestation against all these public sectors. But when you are in the private sectors, when you work, it helps, they will pay you, and also you gain profit from it. Are we going to ban a very good sector that helps us? I don't think so. And also we can give example of the British Airways that has shown improvement in efficiency and high profitability. And also the British Telecom and Telegas. These are private sectors that are doing well in the British. So are we going to say that we ban or we reject privatization system in Togo? Is Togo really to the standard to compare with people that are really making it in the economy? I don't think so. And also privatization helps in the optimum utilization of resources. We can't deny the fact that the public sector has failed us in the optimal utilization of resources. But when we look deep down into the private sectors, it helps us and it helps maintain our optimal resources. It also helps in frustrating competition, because in public sectors we notice that people do not have the motivation or do not have the spirit to compete against other sectors. But when you are in the private sectors and you notice that maybe someone somewhere in his private sector is doing more than you, you also have the courage or the motivation to do better. And these private sectors will keep on helping us. So I don't think it's something that we should reject in our country. We should rather think of rejecting things that are not bringing profit to us. And also reports has shown that according to the Minister of the private sector, who is Kojo Ajay, he said that expanding the private sector will play a major role in the history of Togo. So I don't see whereby the private sector is bad if the Prime Minister or the private sector will quote that it will expand it will rather play a major role in the history of our country. And also, recently reports also show that the government wants private sector to contribute at least 40% of their investment made from the private sector. So if you don't have any private sector, where can these private sectors contribute this investment? Assuming they now close all the private sectors, will they come and be helping the government? I don't think so. And also they are putting in a project that will help deploy the 3G and the 4G that we are using. All these projects are being made out of the private sectors. So I'm hereby saying that we should not banish or reject the private sectors. And economically speaking, the process of privatization maintains the economy in the country. It also helps to generate financial resources for the government. And we know that our resources, when we talk about resources we have in our country, precisely Togo, they are not good as it is. So the private sectors are helping to financial and to finance them and to generate these resources. So by rejecting these private sectors, I think that we put more into poverty. So I'm here saying that we should rather invest more in the private sector than talking about rejecting it. Thank you.
Beautiful ladies, handsome gentlemen, my co-debaters, the members of the jury, I greet you. Democracy is a long and breathtaking process. And sometimes you just laugh or sometimes you just smile because what you are seeing being a problem is not being seen by the other party. So I'm here this morning to present all the problems that the private sector is generating. I'm here to show you why we are saying we should not promote privatization. More than 25% of Togolese women are getting bleached. It means they go to cosmetic, people, and they say, okay, I want to be white. Okay, that's good. They say, do you really want that? And they say, yes. So they use cosmetic products to get bleached. And we all know that the only and big company that is providing all cosmetic products in Togo, right here at the maritime region, is CBOP, a private sector. So it means my opponent will agree with me that it's really good if we let the private sector taking advantage on people because they want something, having money, and then generating at the end what is called skin cancer. Thank you, I like that. They didn't realize this point, but I would just like to tell them that privatization sometimes has its own disadvantages, and we better keep nationalism. And at the end, I will tell them something more. So let's move. Why do we want to promote nationalism first? Because it makes the government the monopoly of everything. They say the private sectors are helping us to improve in efficiency, and we have competition and blah 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 blah. Thank you, we know that also. It's really good, that's nice. Okay, these are good things. But if we come to the government party, if the government still has the main voice on the private sectors, I don't think we'll have competition, but we'll have better products though. Like for example for CBOP, if the government has to be interfering in the statistics, in the chemical they're using, in everything just to clarify things, I think they will be making good products that will be really really good, not bleaching products and whatever, but still it will be of a better quality. So what the private sector, because it can be generating money continuously as the government is obliged sometimes to use shortcuts, and these shortcuts are going against our population. This is what we are not for. Industrial relations, when you're working for the government, you have an idea in mind. The government works and is for the public. The government tried to put the public in a really, really nice situation. So the first target is to make the public being easy. So when you work for the government, it's a really good thing. And the welfare issue. We have INAM that the government is financing for all functionaries, all government, public workers, and something good. You don't have money, but you can still go to healthcare system to get cured. And then, I'll go to ODM fiscality. We've been checking SECO, that we know is a pre-company in building system, have been hiding high amounts due to statistics according to OTN. It's something really, really bad. What I want to emphasize on is we want the government to keep monopoly on everything, but still we can go along with private sectors. See our Apple. Just look at ODM. It's a para-public sector. It means the government has the monopoly and then the private sector is under. You take Lonate, you take Togo Telecom, everything is para-public. So what we are encouraging is to let hand to the government to be on the top and then regulating everything. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the debate. That is the second speaker of the pro, that is Imhotep.
Panel of judges, ladies and gentlemen, I greet you all. I stand against the motion this House exclusively rejects the privatization system in Togo. It is very true that there are some strategic sectors of the economy. It would be better to have the government have total control over it. But when the government is controlling these sectors and then they are running into losses, what should we do? We have no option than adopt privatization. But before I continue, let me come back to what my opponent said. They talked about competition, which is bad. How bad is competition? Every human has a natural desire in him to be the best. And that is what pushes everybody to bring out the best, and we have a better world we are living in. So competition rather is a very good thing. Maybe sometimes when the negative aspects come, we will need the government to just regulate it a little. And the government doesn't need to own enterprises before they can have some say in their enterprises. These can be done by decrees. That is commercial law. It can be done by decrees that don't take up to 6 months to regulate some things, to avoid some type of monopolies. Besides, the hospitals she talked about, she made mention of people not having money to pay and then they refuse to treat them, which is very wrong. The same thing goes on in public hospitals. And even public hospitals, they are worse. Now you go to hospitals, they will tell you they are on strike and they won't treat you. But when you go to private hospital, you get the best treatment. Even if it is expensive, you are getting what you are saving your life. Is it not better than public clinics that are not being able to be controlled? And even though they are expensive, who is it benefiting? It is still coming back to us, because when they are expensive, they are being taxed more, and then those taxes are helping to improve our infrastructure. David Henry Thoreau said, the government is best which governs least. I repeat, David Henry Thoreau said, the government is best which governs least. Even Ronald Reagan said, the best minds aren't in government. If anywhere, business will steal them away. No wonder our government has understood this. And then on 8 October 2018, the Council of Ministers decided that some 4 state-owned banks should be privatized. They are running into losses. And then if they are running into losses, they still use our tax money to pay employees because they can't leave them unpaid. Who is losing? We are the ones still losing. Why not privatize these firms? Why not privatize these enterprises so that the private sector will also have a say? They will also take up some of the charges. Let me give you an example of how it worked. In Michigan, that's USA, that Wexford County privatized its emergency medical service in 1994, resulting in an improvement in service, reduction in administrative services, and lower costs, saving county taxpayers more than $300,000 in the first year alone. Is that not much? That can accomplish much. Imagine if we also adopt this. Even our government is adopting this, and then we are here saying that we should exclusively reject privatization. What option do you give? With this Togo economy that is going down day by day, the economy is going down, but the fixed charges remain the same. They have to be paid, and they will use our tax money to pay it. Where will the money come from? We have individuals in the country which can finance this. Why not give them the opportunity to do this so that we use that money, we can save it up and do something better? What other option do you have than privatization? Even talking about bleaching, it has nothing to do with privatization. Even Michael Jackson in USA bleached. Who cares? And Sivop you are talking about, do you know how many people are eating from there? The employment they give, if they should close down Sivop because they are bleaching or doing whatever, where will those people get their money to feed their families? Just imagine this. Should we leave the government to keep on losing and then at the end they'll close down everything and we'll come to zero? It is better we act now than wait for the worst to happen. Thank you.
So if the speaker is ready and if the members of the jury are ready, then let's start the debate.
This House rejects the privatization in Togo. We deny firmly the privatization in Togo. First of all, let me give you the definition of privatization. Privatization is a part of transferring industrial companies that are in public sector to private sector. Therefore, we reject privatization because it is a new form of colonization. Imagine what will happen when on this campus we sell it to foreigners, strangers, when they have command over this university. What will happen? They will dictate us their command, their rule, their law, and will be manipulated. Ladies and gentlemen, is that what we're willing for this Togo again? We deny it completely. That's why we say we firmly reject privatization in Togo, because you didn't know what privatization can do in Togo here. That's why you are shouting. If you excuse me, you are just promoting privatization. I'm sorry, but I'll give you facts for which privatization should be banned completely in Togo. Secondly, let's take a look this portion. Will be all our income on this campus. Our brilliant students will be brought away, will be working in foreign countries. When these students will be able to rise up in Togo and enlighten those people who are in darkness, when will we be able to rise up economically and intellectually in order to compete with those nations, those countries, neighbor? This is why we deny and we are rejecting completely privatization in Togo. Privatization in Togo. It is a process of losing one's dignity. Togo is a nation. Imagine that people or private sector people have come to buy our port, to take our airport, to take over the harbor. I do agree that you will say that they will provide our generation jobs. But do you know what will happen when they have all this power? They know that all our income are coming from this port, this airport, and they will employ our people to be working. They will manipulate, they will be underpaid. They will be underpaid. And they will have command over food. Is that what we're willing for Togo? I don't think so. That's why we
are standing strongly and rejecting firmly privatization in Togo. Moreover, we reject privatization in Togo because it is the intention of privatization is not to come and create new enterprises in Togo here, but to come just to take over our companies, our industries, which we fought for many years. Why would you do that? We can never allow that. For instance, let's talk about the port. We were fighting many years to have this port, and we are gaining income now. They'll come just say, we want to have it. How can we leave our port to them to rule over us? That's not possible. We are just saying that this is not possible, therefore, we'll be giving you some solution. Now what we'll do is that we're going to nationalize our private sector. You know, take a look at Move Company. It is a private company, but do you know how much of money this company is making after the end of the month? More than 6 million. Wow! But tell me, if this company are to help us, where are the schools they have built? Where are the hospitals they have built? What are they doing for this nation? To improve this nation, for this nation Togo to rise up? Nothing at all. Therefore, we deny it completely. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Dear member of jury, dear supporters, ladies and gentlemen, welcome all. Ladies and gentlemen, privatization is not a bad issue and can never be a bad issue. Never. Ladies and gentlemen, it is because of privatization that Hotel du Dieu Février is working until now. Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, like me, in 2010, the Togolese government claimed that they could no more be taking care of Hotel du Dieu Février, and this is because of privatization. That this great hotel is still working. Imagine this prestigious hotel could stop working. What kind of shame? What kind of shame would we have? And it also saved the images of the country in terms of infrastructures. Ladies and gentlemen, this is because of privatization that Port Autonome de Lomé is still working today. In 2012, the government claims their incapacity to take care of this, and it was because of Group Vincent Bolloré that Port Autonome de Lomé is still working today. Not only that, Group Bolloré employs people here, which is a fight against unemployment. And according to the former Togolese Minister of West, Nisao Nyongfa, His Excellency, during an interview on Radio Lomé said that the Port Autonome de Lomé brought us, privatized by Vincent Bolloré, is giving out 84, open your ears, 84 billion francs CFA per month. That is, Vincent Bolloré is paying to the Togolese government 84,000 billion per month. This is money. And this money can be used in educational system. This money can be used in infrastructures. And according to the Togolese online website, Togo Breaking News, the minimum salary of a Togolese is 222 euro, which is equal to 150 francs CFA. While those who are working there without no BA, without A-level, are waged with more than 200 francs CFA per month. And you say privatization will be rejected. That's a mere fallacy. Ladies and gentlemen, privatization encourages entrepreneurship. Let me tell you, according to Ici Lomé, this is a website, Togolese online website, Togolese young men who work at Wassam, you know that Wassam is no more Togolese property, it has been privatized. And those who finish their contract there have succeeded in creating their own that privatization, not only they work there, but they are also gained an experience in terms of creating enterprises. That is, it promotes entrepreneurship and it gives more salary. Ladies and gentlemen, privatization is a kind of promoting diplomacy. France today has nothing, but France is accounted or is considered as one of the most developed countries in terms of diplomacy because they have the language, they have more relationship all over the world. And privatization, privatize your enterprises when you can no more take care of it to someone abroad. This is a kind of relationship. And let me come back of Wasem. According to Esilome, in 2010, 5,900% of young men who have finished their contract there have succeeded, like I said, in building, in creating their own enterprises. And this is money. Let me come back to you. You were saying that this is a kind of neo-colonialism. No, I don't think. This is not colonization. This is not colonization. When you can no more take care of something, you have to give the hand to somebody. And let me tell you that they are not selling it. This is not this is an agreement. They are not selling it. This is a kind of agreement. That is, we sign a contract. I will take care of it for maybe 5 years, and then I will give back you too. I think that's what is going on. This is not they sold it. No, I don't think that this is the case. Ladies and gentlemen, if we want Togo to boost, if we want the economy of Togo to boost, we have to accept privatization. Thank you, and I believe you really enjoyed it.
Thank you for the reversive argument. We call upon the last but not the least speaker of the pro side, Zion team, for
Hello, judges.
please, if you're ready, the time starts now.
Okay. Panel judges, ladies and gentlemen, I greet you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to go to bruise, reject, exclusively privatization. Okay, let's go on with the definition of privatization. My follower say is, transferring a public sector into a private sector. Transferring a public sector into a private sector. That's what we are talking about. Okay, you give your argument, but I have some things to prove you wrong. Privatization may involve sometimes either to sell the sale of the government assets and removal of restriction preventing private individuals to enter, so now they are free to enter. But let me give you this review of the World Bank in 1991. It is said that the income distribution effect on the private operation are distinctly less egalitarian than those of the public operation. Because firstly, the private company, the privatization system is firstly for one person's own pocket. He has to take care of himself, his company, before looking toward the country in which it is. Okay, let's go on. The Journal of Developing Societies of 24th April, from the page 415 to 438 of 2008, say that the study examined that the impact of privatization on economy, growth and income equality in 82 developing countries, in which Togo is between 1991 to 2002, using the least square, dummy variances that is called NSDV approach. We found out that privatization did not have a significant impact on the economic growth, and it has a negative impact in the income equality. Now, how can you assure us of income equality in our country now? What are they doing so far for the country that the government has not improved? Okay, that's my point, according to the assessment I have. Okay, now let's go. We know here that internet in Togo is too bad. And this generated from 1996, I say. And this, I have a proof. Global Division of Internet 6 that used to take care of Togo Internet. In this review of communication of the Association for Information System of 15 January,
January 2005. Yes. Can you?
I would like to know what is the importance of privatization. What is the importance of internet privatization?
Oh, thank you. You know, internet, a private sector can come and say, I'll take care of internet, but we are talking of privatization system. That is, you know, taking the government, the public sector things like yours. Like you take care of it, we give you this and that. So just wait, I'm continuing. I was saying that the global division of the internet framework, it was used to examine internet division in Togo along 6 dimensions, which are we have the prevalences, the geographical dispersion, sectoral absorption, connectivity infrastructure, organization infrastructure, and sophisticated use. Now you know what? Togo in 1996 decided to privatize this sector. So you understand now? It decided to privatize this sector in 1996. You can go and check. In the years that follow, the Togolese internet grew grew in slower rate than the other countries in the same amount of year. And for our information, we here in Togo, we know how the internet are bad. It's because of Togo privatized the internet. It handed it into the hands of a private sector. And today we are suffering here because of internet. It's because of what they did lastly. Since 1996, see us today, see Ghana, see Nigeria, see how they are boozing in the internet. Is it the same with us? No. So now what are we pouring? Even first, before going on, privatization for us, why we are rejecting it exclusively is that it's equal to capitalism for us. And capitalism is an economic system in which a country business and industry are controlled and run for the profit by private owners rather by the government. So now we are pouring socialism. And now you get the point that we are saying. Socialism is a set of political and economic theories based on the belief that everyone has an equal right to the share of the country wealth, and that the government should own and control the main business, the main industry. That is what we are calling for. That is the idea we have behind rejecting exclusively the privatization system in Togo. Thank you, I'm done.
Zion team, we call upon the next speaker, the last speaker of the Cons 2. We are everywhere. Okay, if the beta is ready, and if the members of the jury are ready, then let's start the debate.
Okay. Chair, members of jury, thank you very much. My constituent opponents, I thank you too. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish you good morning and well condition of listening. I laugh at my opponents. The first speaker from opponent team, who doesn't even know the definition of privatization, is not to sell a company to another country company or some others. Privatization means you transfer a company or a public sector to a company of a foreign country. Privatization means what? You are not able to manage a sector financially in your country. And if you keep not being able to manage it, you draw the country into debt. Yes?
What are you putting in transferring?
Transferring means, go and check well the definition of privatization. It means you can get back the firm or the company you give them, okay? They're going to manage for some years and you can get back. Thank you very much. Good. They say that privatization is bad and dangerous. And they give example of silver, that women are using to bleach their skin. Yes. What the companies, okay, for to which the government privatizes the company with, the project that they are coming to create or create here in the country are they not fair or signed under? The government did sign on the project that they are going to sell in the country. They sell. Okay, if the government accept, why don't you accept? Are you bigger than the government? It's for your own profits. Now, they say that it's an abuse. I don't see any abuse there. Any abuse there. Is the government all the time crying and promoting entrepreneurship in this country, but never the government has given anyone money to create his enterprise. But privatization means you come here, you own, okay, by the owning of another people or another firm, owning your company, create another enterprise in this enterprise that you can get job to work. See people who have their BA but they don't do anything and have the chance to go and work in that enterprise privatized by other firms or other countries. I want to make the point of monopoly. They say that it's a neo-colonialism. Master, this government which is not able to manage the country financial resources, this government which is there preventing you from working in governmental or national institutions. Look at ministers. One minister owns more than 2 jobs. People are here, but you still here starving, and so that another company will not come and pray to be privatize our companies. Master, think well again. Ladies and gentlemen, my opening theme, remember say that privatization is good, and we don't know how to calculate how better the privatization system is good in Togo. We don't know how to calculate it. Obviously, it's good. You cannot reject. Firstly, it draws an international relationship between countries. You'll be known internationally, and even as Hotel de Février, if there's something or as a meeting or conference, you can come there for your meetings. Privatization is good. It promotes not only entrepreneurship, but it brings a competition of entrepreneurship in the country. Because the natives of the country will say, we've been sitting now and sleeping here, and those international firms come and privatize our company and be creating enterprises here, and we'll be looking there and we have profit on earth, though they too are going to create their own jobs. This is good of entrepreneurship. You don't understand the matter. Go deeper again. Entrepreneurship. Master, ladies and gentlemen, don't refuse it. They are disturbing you. They are wanting you to be more poor. Okay? How much time government has created an enterprise here? Okay? So, I don't have much to say. They have said everything. I thank you for your attention. I think that you like it.
Okay. You can start.
Okay. Thank you for giving me the floor. This house regrets Pan-Africanism. We stand, agree, we reject Pan-Africanism. Why? I'll give you the explanation. But first, let me give you the definition of Pan-Africanism. Pan-Africanism is the perceived need to mobilize all peoples of African descent against racism and colonialism. And I'm not done apologizing for debating against this motion, though I'm African, because according to Timothy Martini, Routledge, 2007, why write a book about African Union? The African Union exists, but African Union does not. African unity does not exist. Can the African Union, with this idea of Pan-Africanism, address the problem of conflict and promote genuine peace building across the continent? If yes, what have they done so far? Civil war, conflict in the sub-Saharan Africa. What Pan-Africanism has done? Nothing at all. Africa's economy, let me tell you, that Africa's economy characteristics have made it worse, more vulnerable to conflict. So I don't know why we should be standing now, claiming for movement, Pan-Africanism. I don't know why. That's a waste of time. We have another problem we have to find a solution for. Why should we be wasting our time promoting movements like Pan-Africanism? We reject it. We won't waste our time on that movement. Because all those problems, let's take example of Nigeria under the President Buhari. What's going there? Where is Pan-Africanism? What is he doing really? Or it does not exist? Or tell me that Nigeria is not in Africa. Oh, it's high time we opened our mind and deny firmly this Pan-Africanism. And I will never support whoever will be standing here. I'm even challenging them that they don't have this power to convince me that Pan-Africanism, though we have this problem. Look into our country. You see how many our countries are? So are our problems. Why can't we find a solution for our problems instead of saying that we're promoting Pan-Africanism? We deny it. What has Pan-African done so far? Or that even, let me remind you, that really Africa as a continent really need instead of Pan-Africanism. Our problems differ from our country, just like our countries are very different from each other. So our problems also are very different. So I don't know why we should be wasting our time in saying that we're promoting Pan-Africanism. So we need to find solution for our problem instead of using Pan-Africanism and putting people's life in danger. We would deny Pan-Africanism in order to have time and look how to join hands together and fight against our problems so that this continent can prosper. That's what we're gonna do. And please, to my cultivators, they will be standing against this motion. We are saying that we deny Pan-Africanism forcefully, and we don't want to have a movement called Pan-Africanism because it's not able even to resolve our problems in our countries. So why we be talking about racism, standing up, racism, colonialism? I don't know what the use is. So it's high time we stopped having this. Thank you.
First of all, I will give you the definition of Pan-Africanism. Pan-Africanism is a worldwide movement that aims to encourage and strengthen the bond and of solidarity between people of African descent. Why was Pan-Africanism made? Why? Because of colonialism, slave trade. African people go through all this. And what happened? We underrate ourselves. We think that we are low, because of that we made Pan-Africanism. Pan-Africanism is made to strengthen all the bonds between African people. For example, I will give a real example. If we take, for example, the people of Eve, we have other people in Togo, Benin, and Nigeria. We have other people in Togo, Benin, and Nigeria. You have other people in Benin, Togo, and Nigeria. And when the white people came, the split us. In Africa, there was kingdom, not countries like it is in Europe. So they split us, and they cut us from our communities. Pan-Africanism is good for Africa. I will take an example in the cultural movement, in the cultural field. We have the FESPACO. The FESPACO is a program is a festival that promotes African movie. We know that there are Occidental movie, Western movie we see a lot in Africa, but we should promote African movie. And FESCACO is there for that.
Thank you. I want to know what is the date of the beginning of this Pan-African movement. Thank you.
Okay. The Pan-African movement starts in 1900 with William Sylvester. If we stand alone, we can face challenges. We have countries like China, United States. Why are they strong? Because they are united. Unification makes strength. If what we need strength, we need to be united. You say that we have different problems. I don't agree with that. European countries are different. They have different problems, but they still unite. Because of what? They want to stand before China. They want to stand before USA. If what they come together, it's what we need to do. If today we want to make deal with China, we want to make fair deal with USA, we want to stand together so that we can think like one man. You imagine Togo alone call and say that, okay, China, I want to make a deal with you. Do you think that it will be fair? No. If we say together, we can make this. But African is good for Africa, I say it again. If you are divided, what will become? Will be the target of these powers who want to control, to take off our resources. I do agree that Pan-Africanism has some shortcomings. But the problem of Africa, we got some problem. We got the problem of tribalism, we got the religion problem, we got the problem of ethnicity. And if we are able to face this problem, Pan-Africans will be a great movement. And I want to say that even the Pan-African Union is a success for Pan-Africanism. It's a success for Pan-Africanism because it brings all countries from the north to the south together. It's a success for Africans. Africa has a real story. Historian told us we have a real story. We have to show it. We have a varied story. But because we have directed ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Panel of judges, invited guests, I greet you. We are supporting the motion that says this House will revert the notion of Pan-Africanism. That does not mean that we don't know what Pan-Africanism is. It's that we have tested it, we are putting it into our mouth, but it is so we are vomiting it. We are regretting. We regret that we firstly accepted it. Okay, let's go with the definition of Pan-Africanism. It is a perceived need of mobility of all people in Africa, descent, to come against racism and colonialism, as my opponent members have said. Okay. It's also the principle of advocacy of the political union of all indigenous inhabitants of Africa, and that's nice. Well, what I know during my research is that the early beginning of the Pan-African movement is in June 20, 1958. It was an address of all African students of the African Students Union of the Americas, when Du Bois was explaining his involvement. And after explaining it, we have people that were using like Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, Kwame Nkrumah of Ghana, Martin Delany. Okay, now, the review of the Journal of Contemporary History of Emmanuel Nies let us know that January 4th in 1969. Make us know that although it talk about a great deal, yeah, we all of us, we are happy that Pan-Africanism, now Africa for Africans. Although it's talk about that, but we just realized that it's bad. Pan-Africanism is bad. We don't know what's doing so far, and I'll come to some of the disadvantages, some of the things that we are surprised that this real Pan-Africanism, as it's said to be, is not so. And although Pan-Africanism boasts upon the word said, rather abruptly and spectacularly after the Second World War, its roots go further back in history. You are talking about slave trade. That it goes back in history. It has nothing to do with the commonly thought of today. We don't know what it's doing so far. Okay, now to come to example of Sudan. See what is happening in Sudan now, where hundreds of people are killed sometimes by the ruler. And where are the Pan-Africanists? Where are they? What are they doing about all those things right now? Okay, even going to simple Cameroon here, we Togolese, we need passports. Cameroon is not in Africa. They say Africans should come together to remove racism, leaving colonialism apart. You go to Cameroon, it's passports, Pan-Africanism. We don't know what they are doing. And talking about the Bechuanaland Pan-African outpost of Bantu homeland, it was the review of Edwin Muga, the Oxford University Press for the Institute of Race Relations, London, 1965. It is said that Bechuanaland, I don't know how to pronounce it really, one of the UK 3 High Commission territories in Southern Africa. It's not only being born as a nation, it is also being born as a battleground between the ideology and the armed forces of Pan-Africanism that we were supporting. That's why we regret it. On the north, south against north, where is Pan-Africanism? And this racial thinking, and it brings the racial thinking and military establishment of republics of South Africa on the south, African against African. Through early 1964, the primary political focus was upon refugees fleeing the Republican, like freeing an African country to another African country. Meanwhile, we say we should come together and eliminate racism, colonialism, where we are going helter skelter from our own country. Now going again, the Journal of the Modern African Studies of 1963. It said that Nigerian newspaper commented with reference to the economic integration of East Africa. Free State has stolen, I cited, Free State has stolen a march on the main objective of Pan-African without tears. And this Free State is Tanganyika, Uganda, and Kenya. They stole, and later on they come to say that they want to do economic integration. But when doing economic integration, they have to be political integration, which will go into the privation of Africa country, the other African countries. Only 3 countries will stand now for themselves, for their federation, and this is going to the privatization of African countries. Then what is the Pan-Africanism we are talking about? So we said we are a proposed solution as the choice to promote infrastructure in our various countries, because the way we are different, each one another, that's the way we are. Thank you.
You, next speaker from France.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this debate. Panel of judges, invited guests, and my co-debater, you are all welcome. Okay, the motion today is this House regrets the notion of Pan-Africanism. First, I will restart with the definition of Pan-Africanism. Pan-Africanism is a worldwide movement that aims to encourage and strengthen bonds of solidarity between all people, all African people descendants. Pan-Africanism, and this is the reason why the African Union was created at Addis Ababa in 1963, with the objective to safeguard the sovereignty and the territorial integrity of its members to promote global relations and stop colonization. This is based on the belief that unity is vital to political, economical, and social progress, and aim to unify and uplift people of African descent. In this debate, I will focus mainly on 2 points. The first, the objective of Pan-Africanism, and the second, the reason why we are supporting this and why this is crucial for the development, and we should rather promote it for a better development of Africa. The first one, I'll talk about unity. Unity is strength. We need unity. But first, let me reboot some of the points of my opponent. She comes and say that Cameroon, if you want to go to Cameroon, we need visa and all. But this is the reason why we want to promote Pan-Africanism, in order that tomorrow when I'm going to Cameroon, I will no more have visa. Sudan, this is the problem, this is the cause. This is the reason why we want to be united and stop political instability, because once we are united, we have solidarity, and African leaders will be united and think about how to relieve this political instability, because this was mainly caused by colonization, and this is what we now want.
Okay, thank you. Please, if you are really looking for unity,
okay, now you are talking about that is the reason why we have Pan-Africanism. Since when do you have Pan-Africanism, and now is it now that you are starting to eliminate passport to go to Cameroon?
Okay, I'll answer your point by saying we know this. Okay, you have your response at the end of the debate. Listen carefully. I'll continue. Unity is strength. That's what I was saying, and this is not for the sake of saying that we say unity is strength. Look at the case of the European Union, the case of United States, where formerly we have wars against North Carolina, South Carolina, and wars against all the territory. But today, when they are united, they stand as the United States of America, and they come as a great power. This is the case with Russia and China. And this is the popular saying of Abraham Lincoln, saying, "A house divided cannot stand." We will promote Pan-Africanism and have a great Africa. My second point, we Africans, we have suffered long enough. We have suffered from slavery. We have suffered from discrimination. This is the reason why we want to promote Pan-Africanism, in order to restore our African value, who we are, and the second point, this unity of Pan-Africanism that we are going to promote will boost our African economy, due to the fact that exchange among African countries will be high, due to the fact that our trade partners will no more be China, United States, but our trade partners will be our own African countries. This fight will not be easy, due to people that will support that we regret Pan-Africanism. No, we are going to promote this Pan-Africanism in Africa. The third point, we know this, the colonizers and the Western countries know that once Africa is united, we will stand as a great power. This is the main cause that they are creating division among us. And this is the reason why you have political instabilities. Don't think this is just a mere fact in Africa. This has been endorsed by people that do not want Africa to be developed. This is why you have differences. This is why you have misconceptions among us. This is why you have discrimination. Africans need to come home. And how will they come home? They will come home because we are together. They will come home because we are together. Our economy is great. And Africans that are outside Europe, that are discriminated, that face serious discrimination, will come back home and give their talents, the talented of their skills to develop Africa. This is why we want to promote Pan-Africanism. The fifth point, we have natural resources. Africa stands as the world's greatest country that have the best natural resources in the world. But these natural resources, how do we manage it? European and Western people, Chinese come and buy it at low price, and then we'll go and manufacture it and come and sell it back to us at very expensive price, and this is causing poverty in Africa. This is why once we are united and we are in Africa, our own natural resources are going to be used in our own industries and give economy development. Africa is the pillar of
Thank you. Let's welcome the first speaker from Pro 2.
Excellent members of the jury, dear co-debaters, ladies and gentlemen, I greet you. My name is Kambu Oze, and I'm teaming with Atana Roger. I am from Burkina Faso, Atana Roger is from Togo. You have a Pan-African team in front of you this evening, ladies and gentlemen. My co-debaters started, and I know maybe some of you are confused about the definition that has been given and the feeling with which we started the debate, but I'm going to clarify some.
And let me come to my opponents. They say that we have other problems that we need to find solution to them. But how can we be finding solution to other problems whereby we are not united, whereby we are all divided, and you want us to be finding solution for which problems? And
The other one that came in, she was like in Sudan, there were wars and people died, they have a lot of death. But I'm sure that if they were all united, there won't be crisis or there won't be civil war and people will die. So I'm hereby saying that we need to promote the movement of Pan-Africanism. And they have said in long and large that Pan-Africanism is a worldwide movement that supports the unity of our African countries. And I don't see the reason why they want us to reject it. Something that will unify all African countries, something that will bring together African countries. We want African countries to be just remembered from like a continent that whereby people are being killed or had a lot of diseases, or a continent that whereby the economic is not good. Don't we want Africa to be remembered as a continent that was unified, that has unity, that made a lot of progress? We only want to be remembered as a poor country or as a poor continent whereby the countries are poor? I don't think so. And politically, we see that when we talk about Pan-Africanism, we notice that when African countries go together, even to sign deal with powerful countries like China or USA, when they come together, these people see them as what they are saying or what they want to ask for, it can be done. But when they come individually, they see them as weak countries, as people that are not coming together, because as the popular saying goes, together we stand, divided we fall. So I don't see why we be here saying that we don't need to be united in Africa. We need to be divided. And let me brief you with a short story. There was a woman that was about to die and she had 4 sons. So before dying, she called all her 4 sons and asked each of them to bring a broom. When they all bought the broom, she now took the 4 brooms and tied them together and said to them that by tying this broom, she's letting them know that they should be united no matter what. No matter the circumstance, they should be united. What am I trying to say? The woman is Africa, her sons are the countries, and that broom, the broom she tied together, is the movement of Pan-Africanism that we are trying to promote. So you can't come here and be telling me that we don't need to promote Pan-Africanism, that Pan-Africanism is not good. And if we all Africans can abandon to leave aside our differences and come together, this Africa will be a better continent rather than thinking of dividing or not talking about unity. And also, let me give an example of the free trade agreement that was signed between ECOWAS and the West African countries in 2014. When the West African countries went for that deal, the European Union accepted that deal because they went there together. Assuming the West African countries were there individually, I don't think that deal of a free trade will be signed. And we also noticed that the split that currently stands within us Africa as a whole was created by the Europeans. So we want to stop the racism, this caging, by promoting the movement of Pan-Africanism. We Africans, we are trying to say that we need to promote Pan-Africanism, and I don't see where we Africans will stand here and be saying that we need to reject it. And then let me say that the United States of Africa is something that sounds very nice, something that is good to hear. So won't we be proud to hear that there is also something called the United States of Africa? So it's a reality that will come very soon. Thank you.
You can start.
Honest member of the jury and beloved audience, good afternoon. I'm here on behalf of PO1 in order to share with you my regret and my disappointment about the advocacy for political, social, economic union of Africans and Africans also coming from diaspora, what we call Pan-Africanism. I'm really sorry that people have been denying the only existing form of African unity, that is African Union, which is, for instance, allowing English law to go to Ghana for linguistic immersion right now. African people are already united. I'm going to Burkina Faso every time. I'm going to Ivory Coast every time. Why are we then saying that it is quite impossible for Africa, really, that is, to be promoting the concept of Pan-Africanism? There is already a form of unity. And if it is really unity that you have been pursuing since then, why are you losing time, making people that is being killed? Thomas Sankara today made Burkina Faso, whereby people and the country is recognized as a country of integrity. Over there, if you want to gain 25 francs, you will gain it through hard work. Do you have it here in Togo? or divided. But now, even the central region is divided. Central region for PNP, the north for that is UNI, and the south for USA. Say 14, where are they? They are divided. The case of Ivory Coast, we have over there what we call Bete and Jula puissance Akani there. Do you remember? Over there, if there were a crisis, simply because Jula and Bete were not understanding one another. And even that is LFI said, no, that is Human Rights Watch said, that they are afraid that for them, that is the next electoral process, there will be also another crisis in Ivory Coast. We have the case also of, that is the genocide of Rwanda, where Uti and Tuti people have been killing them. Then, when will we really solve the differences and disparities in each African country for 54 countries to be united? Why are you not joining African Union? But me, I'm not here to tell you a story. I will talk about facts. What does it mean? It means simply that we are politically divided, economically divided, socially divided, help me, anthropologically divided, ethnically divided, mentally divided. Alain Foucault, in his radio program Archives d'Afrique, Elikia Mbokolo, in his radio program Mémoire d'un continent, the lecturer Lazare Kizerbo from Burkina Faso, and the Pan-African lecturer, that is Julia Bocasia, they have conducted a university's research entitled Pan-Africanism in African Studies, and they have come to the conclusion on page 1129. That is the conclusion. Line 19 of the conclusion, saying that we will never come to that is Pan-Africanism will never come through, simply because Pan-Africanism will never come through because of the undefeatable that is challenges of disparities. I'm not here to talk of, I'm talking of lectures. The third vision of the Pan-African University in Cameroon is saying that so far that Pan-Africanism has failed, we will rather train African lecturers so that when time will come for the whole world to be in a globalization system, African people will have their word to say. Why are we saying that? We do regret the notion of Pan-Africanism. If Gaddafi, after the death of Gaddafi, legal people are there that have been suffering. If he was just within African Union, what would he have done? Many things. Secondly, the process of globalization. In a world made to appear smaller by the process of globalization, where we already have market integration, where we already have that is cross-border forms and flows, what then do you want? The world is now looking to be together. And you are talking of Africa being together. Why are you not talking of Europeanism? Why is Great Britain getting out of European Union? The third argument is that if we are united, some countries will lose their sovereignty and the prestige economical power. Nigeria, the first power that is of African continent. If Nigeria was, if those leaders were still alive, we could have 5 countries like Nigeria. And if Nigeria joined us, Nigeria will lose his prestige. You find Kwame said he had better be the head of a mouse rather than being the tail of an elephant. Okay? And to finish, on Lulu magazine, that is newspaper, said Africa is the most beautiful place. Rich in narrative. Yes.
Thank you. You can start.
Greetings to everybody in all ranks. Thank God I'm not here to shout, but to make sense. This house regrets the notion of Pan-Africanism. We stand against this motion. Yes to Pan-Africanism is no to neo-colonialism. It saddens me. It saddens me so much. I don't know if blood could come out of me for you to see how sad I am. I'll be glad for you to know that you've been brainwashed by our new colonial masters. Neo-colonialism. They are done with the former system of colonialism. Now they are bringing neo-colonialism, whereby they use different means of globalization and communism, everything they can do indirectly to brainwash us. And it says today that you are rejecting the notion of Pan-Africanism. Do you know how you are independent today? Let me give you a brief history of Pan-Africanism. Pan-Africanism started already in the 19th century with W.E. Du Bois and Marcus Garvey. W.E. Du Bois was the one consistent about studying African history and culture in America. And we have Marcus Garvey after the World War I, who championed the cause of African independence. They persisted till we have what we have with now called independence. But it is not enough. Pan-Africanism has not reached its peak, yet you want to deny the notion. Why?
Please, if Pan-Africanism really works, can you here take the promise that just at the end of the debate you will make it to be just outside there?
I am not the leader of Pan-Africanism. Pan-Africanism is all of us. It's not a matter of taking promises and then making it come to pass. No, Pan-Africanism starts with you. It starts with me. It starts with all of us. Not you denying the notion. Thank you. Let me continue. We have Kwame Nkrumah. After Marcus Garvey, all their efforts, we have Kwame Nkrumah who led Ghana to have their independence. He had bright ideas of changing, even manufacturing dams and coal, making one Africa. But where is he today? He has been killed. How was he killed? His killing was sponsored by Americans. Yes, his killing was sponsored by Americans. Their hands are not dirty, but they send people to do the work for them. Why? Because they know that what he wants to do is something great. That is why they keep killing. Thomas Sankara, they killed him too because they know that he's making sense. And if they allow that guy to continue what he wants, to change Africans, to sensibilize them on how to be united economically and politically, not just by boundary, but very soon Africa will be the one leading in the whole world. We are not here to talk about boundary, like how you were saying, moving freely from Burkina Faso to Togo. That is not what we mean by Pan-Africanism. We are talking about political and economic unity. Make one. Tell the Chinese that we will not sell these natural resources to them unless they lend us their technical expertise. That is what we mean by Pan-Africanism. Consult your brother before you make great decisions that will go in a way. Look at Laurent Gbagbo. They've done all they can do. But thank God, at least he is free. There is hope for Africa. It is not just one person. It is not the work of one person. We all need to stand up today and say that this is what we want. Freedom for ourselves. Not one person from this side, one person from this side. They'll kill. What we are making, can they kill us all? Can they? Are we not more greater than them? Are we not more stronger than them? Is that not why they try to brainwash us and then they took the slaves to America to work for them? They said, hey, you failed. But we need to be persistent. We need to be persistent. Without persistence, maybe we won't even have this little independence we have today. We need to be persistent. They don't need to steal our people away from us. They don't need to steal our brains from us. We need new Kwame Nkrumahs. I need Kwame Nkrumah in you, in me, not just one person. We all need to change our mentality. We need to know that they are brainwashing us. We need to know that we can act, not standing against your brother, telling me that there is already Pan-Africanism. Is that Pan-Africanism we have? When you have something here, we can do better trade among ourselves. We have EU there. You tell me that there is cultural barrier. No, that is why we have education today. You can learn your brother's language. There are translators. There are things we can do to cooperate. We have education. We are civilized people. That cannot be a barrier to us. We just need to change our mentality and then move Africa forward. Thank you.
Start the second semi-final. So as the first one, let's just be concentrated and listen to our fellow debaters. Okay, the motion is, after mediation in a country with a socio-political crisis, things seem to worsen. This House regrets the presence of mediators in African countries. Have a good debate.
Co-debaters, lovely public, I greet you all. Today I'm here to debate on the motion that after mediation in a country with a social political crisis, things seem worse. This House regrets the presence of mediator in African countries. For this debate, I have 3 points to develop. The first point is for the political and social crisis which occurred in Africa, you can easily say that the mediator is useless. What do I mean by that? When a political crisis occurs, the two sides call for maybe mediator, or the mediator was imposed. When that mediator comes and we want to start the mediation, the two sides consider the mediator as a threat, and they try anything possible to make sure that he will propose something in which they can get their interest. For example, Burundi in 2015, the president Pierre Nkurunziza wanted to be elected for the 3rd time. All these things in the violation of the constitution and the political agreement which was signed after the war, the long civil war during the 19th and the 2000s. There was a mediator who came. Mediator has tried anything possible to bring back the two sides together, like the opposition and the regime. But it didn't work because there was a constant suspicion that this mediator is trying to do something for the advantage of regime of the opposition. I also mentioned the conflict between Morocco and Democratic Republic of Sahrawi. Morocco has been saying that that territory belongs to him. And the other side, like the Democratic Republican Sahrawi people, are also saying that we have gotten our independence from Spain, so we can never allow this thing to happen. Since that day, when there is a crisis and we call mediators, these mediators come with their own solution. So when they come with their own solution, they will impose this solution to you, like for the both sides, whether you like it or not. For example, in Zimbabwe, 2009, even before 2009, there was a presidential election. Robert Mugabe was declared the winner. The opposition leader, Morgan Tsvangirai, contested. Finally, there was a mediator who came, the former president, Thabo Mbeki. We know the link between Thabo Mbeki party and Robert Mugabe party because they have fought together against colonialism, against apartheid. He came and said, okay, once you can't find a solution, I propose these things. Mugabe will remain a president, and Mugabe will appoint Morgan Tsvangirai as a prime minister, post which does not exist in the constitution because there is a presidential system that time. The opposition, like Morgan Tsvangirai, he has no choice to accept it. And finally, Mugabe was very happy after killing some people. He was saying that yes, I remain on the power.
Thank you very much.
83 torture and 77 sexual victims. That is the situation of the post-independence Africa if we want also to consider the problem of Congo, Kenya, Namibia, Libya, Sudan, Zimbabwe, Togo, and others. We stand in this house this afternoon. We want to talk about how to resolve those socio-political crises and offer to Africa a development. Because like Saint Michwoloff said it is difficult to talk about the development of Africa with all those conflicts we have in the continent. So when we are talking about solution to political crisis, socio-political crisis, what are the places or the role of mediators? Mediators are present for mediation. And mediation is a voluntary process that can be used to resolve a wide conflict. It is a calm communication focus that benefit all parties involved. That means that the problem is not about mediators. Mediators are just present to arrange the atmosphere and to make peace between parties. And as far as the problem is not the mediators, the solution cannot be the mediators. That is why we does not regret the presence of mediators in Africa. Now I'm going to talk about 3 points. The first, to resolve any problem in the world, you have to tackle the source. You have to tackle the root. If you are surrounding the problem, you are having an illusion of development. And if we attack the mediators, we are looking for an illusion of development. That is why we don't regret their presence in our countries. 2, not all mediator intervention fail. Some of mediator intervention succeed, and in some countries, mediator intervene and crises continue. Why some crises were resolved and others no. That's proof that it is not the mediators the problem. We want to look the problem in another place. 3rd, the problem of socio-political crisis in our countries is the problem of non-unity among ethnics. People who are speaking different languages are not understanding themselves. And the second problem is bad leadership. Those we have elected to lead our countries are not working for the good for the countries. They are just working for their own interests. That is why, if we don't find a solution there, we will never find a solution anywhere. During around this debate, on those 3 points, debaters from the both sides will give you proof, fact, and statistics, proving that we are not allowing this. My opponent will come and give you illusion of development, but as we are attacking the mediators, we are failing. Between illusion of development and the truth. But me, I choose the blackness, which are the voice of the truth, the voice of unity in Africa, the voice of good leadership. Thank you.
I'm here to come for the topic. This House regrets the presence of mediators in Africa. Yes, we regret it because mediators are useless. They are strangers. Having mediator in Africa is like having two child of the same family fighting and go and call a child from another family to come and resolve it. Do you think those 2 child will listen to him? No, I don't think so. They will not even pay attention to him. I'm giving you this example to explain that when the government and his people are having a quarrel, even if the mediator is here, there will be no change. There will be no effect. Yes, we regret it. Mediators are not needed in Africa. Because we have some leaders who do resolve their own problem without the interference of mediators. We have Sudan. There was a social crisis who turned to be a political crisis. But they solved them themselves without the interference of mediators. And leaders are able to talk to each other to find a compromise. I'm talking about Kenya. In 2017, last year, President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga made peace after fighting. They took talk and they find the solution. And they find a solution after the president. They find a solution. Mediators are called to be peacemakers. But we see that when they are here, when people notice that they are here, they are in their country, there are others manifestation like cost of life, unemployment. That is different from what they came to do in Africa, what they come to resolve in Africa. So we call mediators to come come and solve a problem, but that gives us in return many manifestations that is not even related to the problem. Instead of calling mediators to come to Africa, instead of calling them, I think that we should find a solution. And that solution is that we should start teaching in secondary school our children, the future leader, social study and political science, so that they will be prepared in the future to solve their conflict peacefully without any mediator intervention. I think that is the solution. That is the last solution that we have. Not calling any mediator to come and waste their time.
Okay, if the speaker is ready. Please start.
Brothers and sisters, my co-debater just said something right now. But listening to what he said, according to what she said, that means they haven't got the real essence of this topic. She's here, basing all her arguments on mediators are not Africans. That's why they can't resolve any problem. So I want to ask, who are the mediators? Mediators can be CENI. The mediator can be AU, African Union. Mediator can be UN, as far as they are here to solve a problem. So, AU, CENI, ECOWAS are not Africans? No. And then they are here giving fabulous argument, saying that there is a war in Sudan. It was solved by Sudanese. There was a war in Kenya, solved by the president. Who tell you that it was just solved without having a compromising or like a conference of the AU conference? No. You just giving arguments, facts without example, without a stable, a concrete source. But the first debater from the pro side started his debate by saying that he has only 2 points. And then he has only 3 points, but he just gave us 2 points. I don't know where he kept it there. But he said the first point that he made, he said the mediators are useless. But ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, not all intervention of mediators in Africa are fruitless. Let me give you an example. Because in 1988 to 1991, there is a civil war in Angola, and it was resolved by the UN. In 2003 to 2018, there is a civil war, the second Liberian civil war in Liberia. It was resolved by UN by doing what? By installing an UNMIL, which is the Union of Nations mission in Liberia. And this was to make a peacekeeping forces established in September 2003 to monitor a ceasefire agreement in Liberia. So why are we saying that mediators are not working for the peace of Africa? No. And as far as my co-debater give you the real meaning of mediation, which is a voluntary process that can be used to resolve a wide range of conflicts, and it's a calm communication focus that can benefit all these involved, all the parties involved. But ladies and gentlemen, there is a rule in mediation. The third rule of mediator said, in mediation, the parties have control over the resolution, which means the parties that are fighting have the total voice on the conflict. But the mediator are just there to let them enter into agreement voluntarily if they want. That is if they want. So if there is a war in Palestine, in between Israel, and there's no solution to today, that means if someone doesn't want to care for the other, that's the problem. The problem is not the mediator. Let's take the sixth rule of mediators, who said, when parties work together to find mutually agreeable resolution to conflict, compliance to the agreement is usually high. Parties may choose to make their agreement admissible and enforceable in a court of law. That is what a mediator is there for, to make agreement to settle it in a court of law. Let me give you the example of
the civil war of Cote d'Ivoire, who just ended in 2018. This civil war began from 2002, but they started by creating the UNOCI, which is the Union of Nations of Ivory Coast. And this objective is to facilitate the implementation by the Ivorian parties of the peace agreement signed by them in January 2003, which means the moderator make sure that they sign the agreement, and then they are still making sure that everything is going well till 2018. So today, if there is no more war there's no more civil war in Ivory Coast, why are we accusing mediators? If there is war in Libya, that is not the problem of the mediators. Mediators are here to solve the problem. But as far as the parties are not yet ready to understand, the mediator has no fault. I will finish my debate by giving you a proverb which says, when a well is open, a lizard can enter. It's because there is a problem that mediators are coming. And this problem
African countries. Yes, of course. We should not accept the presence of mediators in Africa. Why? How is it possible to mediate a country or a community you know nothing about? This seems to a recurring issue within our African countries. Yes, of course, we should accept mediators in our countries. But whom? Those who are forbidden. Not those who just come and jump in a problem they don't know the source. They just jump in a problem they don't know how it starts and how it's going on. How is it possible? Even those mediators, they are failing in doing their jobs. Don't move far. Let's take the case of Ivory Coast, where the mediators failed to disarm militants in Western Ivory Coast in 2010. It's not finished. We can go at Burkina Faso here, where Macky Sall, the president of Senegal, who came as the mediator for the political crisis of Burkina Faso, and the population took over the problem, took over the situation whereby Blaise Compaoré was removed from the presidential post through violence and riots. This in 2015. All this just because those mediators are unable to find a solution to solve the problem of Burkina Faso. So we should allow them to come here. What do they bring us? Nothing. Let's say the case of Palestino-Israel conflict, whereby USA intervened as mediators by taking some decisions which did not favor them. What have they done? What have they done? Nothing. So why are we going to wait for them to come and solve our problems? We can't. And we do not. I remember when I was 8 years old, when I got a problem with my small brother. My parents were there looking at us. They let us find a solution to our problem. And now I can say that I'm able to solve a problem with my friend. I'm not going to wait for somebody to come and give me the solution. I'm not going to wait for someone to come and solve my problem. No, because I'm able, I'm independent, I'm self-reliant. It's stopped by a family problem and go and lead or become a political prize one day. We people cannot wait for them. The president of Senegal, who came at Burkina, he did nothing but to find a solution themselves. It's just to say that we Togolese or we Africans, we are able to resolve our problems. We are not going to wait for somebody. No, we are capable. We can do something. It's just because we do not want. If we let them come, they will solve it, or they will say, you are right, you are wrong. When they went back, when they go, you will still be some enemy. You will still be in the same worry and in the same problem. What have they bring? Nothing. They come here and lead to corruption. They come and corrupt you. They come and collect money for your, excuse me, the term back, your cult presidents.
They collect money from them. They go there and become so rich. And you still being here in poverty. So it's the kind of mediators we need. We do not need some kind of mediators who are coming and corrupt us. Let us focus the reality. Let us see the facts. Let us talk because we see something wrong. We must not stay here lying that they bring something to us. No, it's a lie. It's a lie. We should not and we should never accept some mediators in our countries. I mean, in African countries. I'm the Togolese. I'm the Togolese, of course. And if I have a problem with my friends, I should not going to wait for someone to solve it for me. No, I can go and talk with you, my friend. Try to find a solution. Try to solve our problem. Finish. You can find a solution. Thank you.
If the next speaker, please let's have a house.
Please, about letting you Africans find a solution between you, we will not let you. Because you are not ready. You are not ready to find a solution by yourself. That's why we want you to bring you mediators. Because if we let you, you kill yourself. So, ladies and gentlemen, as far as this topic is concerned, let's not just talk about opinions, but facts. So, I will start with facts. In 1919, when South Africa, South Sudan and North Sudan were having a conflict, in the same year, now 23 years after, in 2000, the same conflict were gone. Meaning not gone completely, but it has come down. Due to what? Due to the IGAT, the Intergovernmental Authority Development, which is a mediator. Let's go. In 1971, with the president Idi Amin of Uganda, who overthrew the elections, and he declared himself the president of Uganda. You know what should happen? This action should bring to the civil war, but nothing happened. You know why? Because of the intervention of the EAC, the East African Community. They try to find a solution. One, two, the second mediator. Let's come back to Kenya in 2007, when the President Odinga went against the winning of the President Kilaki. This issue was having a great problem. It was very critical, but due to the intervention of the former Secretary General of United Nations, United Nations, his name is Kofi Annan. Due to his intervention, we heard about nothing after. Third mediator. Let's come back here with our Gambia in 2013 with our president Yahya Jammeh. The guy refused to leave the power because he has failed, but he refused to leave the power. And the situation was critical. And due to the eco war, the economy, community, West African states, they found the solution, they can't find a compromise, and the guy left peacefully Gambia, and there's no more war. Yes, Wolf?
Yes. If mediators are too much officials, why is the problem not solved totally but it's cool down?
Thank you. You know, this issue was like, when they come and bring you problems, they give you some solution. I'm sorry. Those people are, sometimes people are selfish. They don't want to listen that I'm wrong, you right. They still say I am right. So when they bring the AESC brought the problem in North and South Africa, I didn't say it's not finished, but it calmed down. It calmed down. Let me continue and come back very quickly here in Togo. In 2018, when the opposition side were claiming about the changement of the president of what we call Seni. Do you know anything hearing about this problem? They threat that they will cancel, they will boycott the elections, but nothing happened. Do you know why? Opposition people are not dead, they're still alive, but they can't. Correct. You know why? Because of the intervention of ECOWAS. This is what I call a mediator. So, ladies and gentlemen, I put my hand together and I greet those mediators because, and I wish them long life to African mediators. So, the fact here is knowing who is a mediator. Look at the members of Giri gazing at me, gazing at us here. What are you doing? We are in a kind of conflict. Why? Conflict are there. We will debate here morning saying, I'll say what, you will say what, they will say they're right. But members of Giri will say, oh, you did well, but you did better. This is called a mediator. Very simple. Like when you go to justice, the judge is sitting and the transport on one side, the other side. That's what we call a mediator. But in the type of mediators in Africa, it's quite different. They don't come and say you wrong, you right, but they just say, they just lead you toward the problem. The mediators that don't decide the outcome of the situation. They help you understand the important, the issues needed to make a solution. So we are not ready to live without these mediators. Let's not open our eyes and look what is going on in Africa. Come on, man. So, I stand and I will still saying that we need those mediators in order to be still going, in order to find a solution for our Africa who's still in something like that. Thank you.
Teammates, I greet you all. Before we start, my people, you will be talking about AU, UN, ECOWAS. And I hear some of you talking about mediators. Whenever mediators come, the problems seem to increase. Yes, this is to recognize that mediators are not doing an exhaustive work, but they are doing the work partly. First. And what if your so-called ECOWAS and your AU and your UN, what are they doing exactly for the improvement of our countries? Nothing. So, to continue, let me cite this quotation of MLK. Our lives start to stop the day we keep silent on serious matters. The debates on what is mediators in Africa is a great one. This is a crucial debate that we should talk about. Because what? Mediators, whenever they come, the situation worsens instead of being arranged. I will give fact to prove that. You'll be talking about Libya. Yes, Libya is still suffering till now because of what? Because by the time Gaddafi was arrested, by the time he was unjustly arrested and killed, his population is suffering. And these so-called mediators went there. When they went, what did they do? They just put the hand on the kerosene and then harm all the economy of Libya. And today, Libya is still suffering. We're talking about mediations. When, for instance, Amadou Alpha Condé came here, by the time, our recent event in Togo, by the time he came here for the problems, what did he do? How can somebody who has a problem in his country come and solve yours in this one? He left his country, which is Guinea, suffering with the same problem, which is the socio-political one, as he succeeded in solving it. Dear members of the jury, co-debaters, my dear brothers and sisters, I would like us to see the things with our own eyes. Let's go to Cote d'Ivoire, whereby Gbagbo and Ouattara in 2010 and 2011. By the time Gbagbo was officially elected as the president, and Ouattara being unjustly imposed, it brought France to come and then solve the problem. They did what? They favored Ouattara by leaving Gbagbo is still now under cells. So my people, and this can we still keep on trusting mediators? How can we trust mediators by the time we go to Benin? The situation between Sébastien Adjavon and then Patrice Talon, whereby these two brothers, Sébastien Adjavon looks like Guillaume Soro in Cote d'Ivoire, whereby he helped Patrice Talon to win the elections, and then, I will take you to town. And then it was like, when he got the power, now there was misunderstanding between them. France intervened to help. What happened? They favored Patrice Talon. What is he doing? Benin is still suffering. How can we keep on trusting some people that are selfish? Some people, whenever they come in our country to solve the problems, instead of touching the core of the problems, because what? They do not know what is going on. Somebody said it.
They know nothing about the realities whenever they come. We invest money for the different conferences. What does it give? Nothing. They came last time, we had conferences here. Our economy even went down. Students are sitting here without allowances. This one has had like a kind of, this has brought a kind of difficulty into the solving problems of our country. So my dear friends, Luther said, if you can't fly, run. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. But by all means, keep moving. So we must keep moving. We must keep solving our problems ourselves instead of calling these so-called meditators. Thanks very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, in our villages, you know that kings have always problems. But when there's a problem between two people, they try to resolve it. So don't tell that somebody else's problem at home, you cannot resolve your problem. Who tell you that? Who will look for your problem? It will give you the solution. Yes. Okay, today we accept. I'm with you guys. I accept that mediators are not good for our country. Mediators are bringing more problems. Okay, I accept it. Okay, Joshua, me and you are fighting now. Me and Joshua, we are fighting. Is Joshua will stop fighting me, stop beating me to resolve the problem? No. The president must come to resolve our problem. That's why we need some people to come resolve our problem. Because we won't have time to resolve our own problems. Ladies and gentlemen, let's see now people who are refusing the mediation, people who are refusing those people to come solve their problem, to come give them some ideas, some thought to solve their problem. Let's see them. The example of Syria, 2001. What happened with Syria? What will happen with Assad? Assad will free the mediation, and how many people died? More than 100,000 people died. And how many people left Syria? 9.2 million people left Syria to go where? To go to other country. Why? Because they refused the mediation. Assad refused the mediation. He refused to leave his country. Come on. That's why we say no. Assad refused it. He doesn't care about his own people. He refused it. That's why mediation is important. If Assad had said, those people won't be killed now. Those people still living in Syria. And Syria must be prosper. But Assad said no. Let leave Assad. Let come now in one nation. Near the island. I'm talking about Across, not Across. I'm talking about the island near Russia, near I'm talking about the it's a complicated word. I know it in French, but I don't know it in English. That's what I'm thinking. I talk about the sheep. The sheep, we call it in French sheep, but in English it's not the same calling. It's an island of Greece. It's an island that Turkish and Greek people are fighting for. And those people now are not united. Why? Because those people of same nation, the UN came in 1994, in 1964, after their independence. They came to resolve their problem, but they said no. Till now, they are fighting. In 2004, they came back to resolve their problem. Till now, they are fighting. Because what? They don't accept it. They think that they're intelligent. They don't accept it. Come on, accept to see the solution. Accept to have the solution of your problem. Don't be selfish. Accept the solution. That's the problem now in our countries. Let's talk about Muammar Gaddafi. Come back to Muammar Gaddafi. People are talking about Muammar Gaddafi. The UN come ask Muammar Gaddafi with more negotiation, but he refused. That's why now there was war. But the UN didn't wait the war to finish to come in. They were there before. Muammar Gaddafi refused the negotiations. That's why now there's war. People are suffering because of that. People are suffering because of that. People does not live because of that. Because Muammar Gaddafi refused this thing, what we call the association of two people. The union of those two people. Muammar Gaddafi refused it. Ladies and gentlemen, if we refuse it, okay, we refuse that. That means that we're refusing our laws. We're refusing our law statements. Because the law statements are here to give us The law statements are here to unify people, to find solutions for people. So refusing this condition is refusing our law that we have in our country. We're refusing to respect our law because we don't want people to come mediate. We don't want people to come find a solution for us. We don't want people to come help us find a solution. Ladies and gentlemen, Africa needs people to find a solution. But Africa is late because what? Our governors are selfish. They don't want this mediation. Because what? The opposition is selfish too. Because they doesn't want the mediation. They want to say they know, they know, they know. But in a country of they know, they know, they know, my brother and sister, we will die. We will be there seeing two people fighting without mediation and we will die. Ladies and gentlemen, let's help those people who want to help us. Thank you very much.
First, congratulations to the qualified teams. And I'm asking for all the qualified teams to wait for me at the end. That's one. So two, you know, it's time. We'll go for a break. You know, I'm feeling, you know, not angry. Good. Feeling hungry. So if we can go there now so that I can